Recording. Okay, so today we're gonna try to compile uh, an Erlang program to understand what is the expected AST.
Okay, let
So
me
what's
just,
your plan, Marinho?
well, first of all, we need a module, we need an export, and then we need a function definition just so we have something to look at. Let's go to here. So we need a module name, let's call it hello. Let's say we export hello 0, and then we have to define a function, so hello takes no arguments.
IO
Uh,
format. Actually, fuck the IO format. Just return a number 1.
okay, let's just return a number, 1. Okay, so
Okay, what's
how
your
do we do
plan? To
this?
dump this into the REPL with the parser, or? Oh, can you generate that? Maybe.
I should be able to.
Uh,
Pa, 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 pa.
Generate assembly listing. Generate listing of expanded code. Generate listing of preprocessed code. Enable warnings.
Uh,
I don't see an option to generate AST.
I think it's dash B, but I don't remember the name of the type, the file type.
Dash B.
Yeah, because that tells us the output type, right?
Oh, okay. Let's actually look at the docs.
Yeah, this is not correct.
Yeah. Earl C. Erlang. Okay, so you want to know the dash B thing.
Yeah, which are the options?
Okay, so Earl S core.
I think this is what we want, no? Oh wait, no, this is bytecode, not
Yeah,
the
this is
abstract
bytecode.
form.
This is not AST. Man, I don't know if you can do that.
Technically you can just parse the file as well, no?
Yeah, you can just go to a REPL, call the parser function, throwing at it this module export hello one thing.
Okay. Do you know the function name?
Abstract. Uh, yes, it's on in the chat. Let me find it. Uh, the problem is finding it in the middle of many messages that we sent last time. Okay, I'm gonna assume I pinned it. That's what I'm gonna assume. And I didn't, which is always cool.
Past Lemons was not very wise.
Okay, wait a moment. I'm scrolling. Scrolling. Oh, yes, I found it. So it's Earl underscore scan column string.
Wait, so it's this, right?
Yes. And then underscore column string. So this is the module. The function is a string, and then inside of it, the only argument is the string.
Is there a function to take a file name as an argument instead?
There is a well. Let's look at this module a little bit. So where is it? Earl scan Erlang. There. Okay. So how do we do it?
Hmm.
No, haven't find. I didn't find it.
Okay, that didn't work.
Now you'll probably have to. Wait, they didn't work. Are you sure?
Now this should work. There we go.
Yeah, but now to get the tokens, you need to do another command, which is I'm gonna paste it in here, man. I think that's more. It's faster. Okay, so it's in the chat. You need to call parse expressions. Well, we need to pattern match on the answer. There's a bunch of stuff you gotta do. Look at it here. Look at the chat.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so this scan string returns a triplet, and the thing that matters is in the middle.
Okay. Okay, in that case, what I should do is...
Yeah, but how scan parse Erlang file?
Uh, let's make a scratch file for now. Let's say... Okay, so I need to copy this and put it over here. You don't care about this. Okay. Then this can be this,
No, I don't.
right?
Yes, actually yes. Yeah, but there must be a better way to do this.
There is. I'm just making it right now.
No, no,
If I
no, no. Aside
do...
from what you're doing, like there must. We're not reinventing the wheel here. There must be a better way. No, keep doing what you're doing. I will try. I'm trying to find a better way. It's also really depressing that the compiler can't generate the AST. Oh, there is another module called Earl syntax. What is that about? Let me check.
Oh, but parse expression is not gonna work because I'm parsing a module, not a sequence of expressions.
And that means that we need a more general function. Use the autocomplete in the REPL with the Earl parse module. Form found it.
There's an abstract though.
Let me read what that does. Okay, Earl parse abstract converts the Erlang data structure argument into an abstract form of the type ABS term. This function is the inverse or normalize. So apparently
Okay,
there's a normalize function.
that's not quite what we want then, because we want...
Converts the abstract form ABS term of a term into a conventional Erlang data structure. Yeah, so whatever these guys do, they do the opposite of each other. Normalize converts the abstract term to conventional Erlang data structure, and abstract converts the data structure into abstract term.
What about Earl parse? Well, there's parse and scan. are the two most promising names then.
Yeah, I think we should try the form. Let's try the form. Parse form. Pick the form function.
No, there's
Parse
one
form.
that's just called parse, okay? What does that do?
There isn't in the docs a function just called parse.
But it's right here. Look.
I see there, but in here in the docs there isn't. Yeah, can't find it.
Hmm. Which version of the docs are you looking at?
7.1.
OTP. Um, because like Erlang actually has all of the old versions of the docs in the website, and it's kind of annoying to do a search because of that.
Yeah, but parse is not appearing in any of the docs for me. Not in this module, or parse. Only in like other things.
Hmm. Okay, functions. Yeah, it's undocumented for some reason.
Do you want to try to see if it works?
Parse form takes tokens.
Yeah, I think we have abstract things, you know. Abstract format, abstract data structure thingies.
What about Earl scan? What do we have here? Category column. String is what we had.
I think everything that we have in the example are forms, man. We have a module declaration, a list of exports, which is called an export attribute, and we also have a function declaration. Those are all classified forms, if I remember the documentation correctly.
Okay. Okay. Um, okay, it's just mildly annoying that we can't
We don't have a top
actually.
level one that treats them generically. Yeah, it's very annoying.
No, it's annoying that we can't just pass a file name and parse the file.
Yeah, that's also very annoying.
Mm, parse tokens as if it was a form. Returns one of the following. List of expressions. This normalizes. Okay, so that means actually that we should do parse
Wait a moment.
forms, right?
Wait a moment. There is a parse file.
There
It's in
is.
the EPP module. But I think there is some discussions in Stack Overflow. Wait, let me
This is the
check.
preprocessor though.
Oh, it is preprocessed and parses an Erlang file. Oh, but it parses it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, we can even give options to it if we want.
Okay, so parse file. Parse file. Takes a file name, takes some options. So EPP parse file. File name is. Let's just take it as an argument, and the options can be. What are the options? Options is a list. Let's just pass an empty list.
Yeah, I think we should.
OK and a list of forms. Or OK and a list of forms and some extra stuff. Or you can return an error. Okay. Okay, we're not passing this. That means we should be able to just say okay, return, and just return the return.
Line 3 is wrong.
Right, this is 1 now.
Yeah. Let's see if this works.
Parse 3, and the file is hello.earl.
Damn! That's actually correct. A module is an attribute, the export is an attribute, and then we have the function, which I already forgot what the 5 means. The name, arity, list of clauses, then the 5 again. Oh, the 5 is the line location. And then integer 5.1. Yeah, this is it, man. This is it.
And then there's the explicit end of file at the end. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Okay, so we know how to compile a hello world in Erlang's EST.
Well, that means actually we don't even need this temporary module. We can just call EPP directly because this just takes the file name.
Yeah, but I have a question. Uh,
Yes.
can the Erlang compiler understand that? Like, if you write into a file a list of forms, will the compiler accept that as a valid Erlang program? We should test
Um,
that.
that's a good question.
Because if it doesn't, we are kind of fucked.
Well, there must be some stage of the compiler that takes that as an input. You just need to figure out where it is. Mm,
Wait, core Erlang. Ah, man, we are just stupid. Do me a favor. Go to the command line, call the
okay.
ERC compiler passing the -b, but instead of AST, put core. No,
Okay, not
you.
AST core.
Yeah. What does that do?
There's a dot beam, which is not what we want.
Oh, wait a moment. Wait a moment. We want to compile to core. We don't want to. This is what we did. Is something else, right? Because I
Yeah,
think the AST is called core, core source code, for some reason.
RLC, can I pass? I can't, okay.
How do you generate core? That's the question.
Well, theoretically, we should be able to do this.
How to generate Erlang core source code?
But this doesn't quite work.
That's not what I want.
Not lining in. RLC. think it's dash P actually.
B.
Nope.
You're
Not
so
really. Okay.
close. Uh, okay, we have some options. Dash capital P, dash capital E, and dash capital S.
Well, P doesn't work. Let's try E. That's also not it.
And then there's, oh, okay. Actually, there's a bunch of options that they don't specify. So I, O, D, V, W, B, all of them.
Hmm.
Why is it not telling how to generate the core, man? Okay, so how do you generate? Not interested. Oh, okay. According to AI, instead of okay, if this works, this is very stupid. Earl C space plus 2 underscore core.
Plus 2 core.
No, 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 2, not the number. 2. TO. Go.
Like this?
There's no way. It is. And it even has comments on it. Is this
Mm,
core? This doesn't look like it. Well, I mean, this is core, but this is not the AST, is it?
no, it's not the AST.
What the fuck is this then? Check if there is a 2 AST instead of 2 core. Who knows? There's no way.
No, it just went to beam.
Read the file anyway. Let's check it out.
Yeah, just beam.
Yeah. Okay, but we learned something today. That you have a plus 2 core.
Okay, there's no dots abstract. That's probably hoping for too much.
Well, but then I don't understand. If the compiler cannot generate an EST, why would it accept an EST? I don't really buy that. Maybe the idea is that you have a program that reads the other program. Like, you save the AST somewhere and then you read that as in an Erlang program that uses
Hmm.
the scan and the parse modules. And then you can do something about it, but why would you do that?
That would be kind of sad if that was the case, actually.
Okay, but that means then,
We're gonna have to write a driver program,
well,
basically.
we would have to drive a driver program anyway. It's the thing that I'm keep calling the meta program. But now the meta program needs to do a lot more stuff, and I don't I don't really like that.
What were you calling the meta program specifically?
The program that grabs, well, essentially is the program that calls our parser, then calls the preprocessor, then the code generator. So it's like written in OCaml, but then it grabs the output and calls a Unix process to call the RLC compiler throwing as input what we just generated, and then we save. Like it's essentially the driver program that calls the Erlang compiler as well. Not only does the pipeline of the compilation of a Karuta program, it also interacts and drives the ERL-C. Well, you can do that via a makefile, for example, but I don't want to do that.
We can, like, instead of calling the compiler directly, we can make an Erlang program that calls the compiler for us, which is easier, right? Because the functions are right there.
Yeah, but then we are introducing a program in Erlang that calls a program written in OCaml. I rather do everything in OCaml.
No. It's a program in OCaml that calls a program in Erlang to call the compiler.
Yes, essentially. But that's the thing, I didn't really want to do that. Okay, so wait. So what is the purpose? This section describes the standard representation of parse trees for Erlang programs. These functions are also used as input and output for parser transforms. Oh, they have a compile module, man. This module provides an interface to the standard Erlang compiler. It can generate either a file containing the object code or return a binary that can be loaded directly. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to write a driver in Erlang that uses the compile module. This is so sad.
Mm,
Okay, can I compile? Okay, what functions this module has? Oh, I found it. Okay, here's the what we're gonna do. Go to the REPL.
go to the REPL.
Um, we need access to the list of forms. So grab that output and bind to something.
It's
I think
just
that's
one,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Just
just
one
true.
return.
Equals. Go. Now you're gonna do compile
Compile.
underscore. No, not underscore. Column forms and pass the forms binding as an argument to this function. Go. That's it. So what is returning is
A
uh,
binary, which is
yeah,
probably the compiled binary that you're supposed
yeah,
to speak to a file.
exactly. Oh, there is an option that you can pass to it. There is a forms arity true. If you pass the option binary, you can produce an object code file.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to, man. Okay, we're gonna have to have like a bootstrap.url that provides a function uh, that does this thing. Essentially.
Special flags. Source code. Source code. Script file. Those are the inputs. Oh, I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
don't
the
think we
problem
can do this
actually.
on the level of the ERL-C compiler, man. I think we need to use the compile module.
Yeah, I think that's the problem because, like, you can take source code as an input. You can take the assembly source code as an input, and you can take core as an input. And you can't take AST directly as an input, which means there's there's no reason to make a step that spits out AST, you see?
No, there is, because you can just use this function that we just used, the compile column forms. And you can spit a list of forms, which is exactly what we're going to be doing.
I'm talking about the standard compiler.
Oh yeah, no, the compiler cannot do it.
It has the knowledge, it just doesn't have a way to expose that feature, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but essentially, this is what we're going to do. We're going to generate a list of forms, essentially. A list of forms. And we're going to pass that to... Can the EarlC compiler accept... how should I say? Work as a script, because then we don't have to create a bootstrap file. That's kind of stupid.
There is actually a way to dealer. Yeah, you can make an eScript and just call it
No,
from the
but I
command
mean,
line.
no, but that's still not kind of what I want. I kind of want how, like, in Nix, you can actually download a derivation and call it in the command line itself. Like, you can call a function. In Python, we also can kind of do that, so you can just spawn like an HTTP server in Python in the command line directly. I don't want to have a file to do this. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Why not?
Because it's stupid.
Why is it stupid?
It's another moving part that should not be there.
Well, if you don't have a file, then the arguments that you're passing to the ROC compiler is the moving part. So what changes?
Because that's going to be embedded in the step that we call the ROC. Right.
Well, the body of the file is embedded in the file, so
Can we do that? No, that doesn't really matter. We know what to do. That hello world, we need to understand the structure. So the first two things we need to generate is a bunch of attributes. At least two attributes. One called a file and another one called a module. You see?
yes.
So let's start. So make a branch and let's start by generating those two things. Yeah, those two things. That's going to be very interesting. How are we going to do that?
Bootstrap compiler.
Sure. This is sort of a bootstrap. Sort of.
Okay, so
Go to the
let's just
compiler.ml.
here.
Yeah, so let's look at the type T first. What in the fuck are we going to be remembering throughout the compilation? So the numbers are locations. The locations are within the forms themselves. You don't need to save that in the compiler. We need... I think we need to save the file name in the compiler, the file that we are currently compiling. Because when we start to introduce multiple files, we need to generate the attributes. We need to
Okay.
generate their attributes. And file, each file, ooh, that's going to be interesting because in our programming language, we're going to have a module, like we're not going to make a file a module, which means probably each module should be a separate file in Erlang. Would you agree?
Can't you just compile everything to a single module to begin with at least?
Sure. I mean, in that case, we don't need to store anything in the compiler state because we're going to basically hard code a name, right?
Should we?
Oh yeah, because it's going to be attribute one file and then I don't know a hash.url and then attribute module a hash again. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm, a hash.
Yeah, because, well, if you're gonna generate a single module for everything, what name will it give it? Will you give it that doesn't conflict with a name of a Karuta file? And there's another problem with this strategy.
Well, it can be literally anything because the extension will be different.
No, yes, but there is another problem. How are we gonna report errors in this manner, though? Because, like, if the thing explodes at runtime in the beam, the things that we are generating for the forms will be the ones being used to report. So if you put nonsense in there, the the programmer of the Karuta will be hella confused. Like, which file is this? Oh, this is a nonsensical. I don't have a file named this.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. Well, in that case, yes, we probably should have a file name then.
The only way to not run into this problem is if we like simulate the beam and then we do the error reporting ourselves and we don't report the nonsense. But that would be very,
Redundant.
yeah, not only redundant but hard.
A current file is a string.
Yeah. I think for now is this, yeah, I think for now this is the only thing we need. I think you should delete everything else. Like, we don't need the entry point and the p register in the functor table anymore, so just fuck it. Okay. Um, interesting,
Uh,
interesting, interesting. We have a list of clauses
we're
as
not
the
calling this
arguments.
anywhere yet, are we?
Not yet. We haven't called it yet.
Yeah, this is not gonna be a list of clauses though, because
Why not?
actually, will it?
Yes,
Oh
it
yeah,
should.
oh no, it will be. It should be, yeah.
Yeah. My opinion. Um, my opinion.
Wait, if we just want to spit out a hello world, we actually don't need to use compile yet.
No, 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 no. Well, what should I say? For now, I only want to spit the attributes. Attribute file, module, and export. I don't want to go to the functions yet, so we're going to ignore the list of clauses for now. I just want to see if we can generate the attributes. But in the future, each clause will be probably a function.
Okay, so this is actually going to return a list of
Forms.
Erlang forms.
Which we do have the type. But yeah, we do have it. It's in core.
Or
Yeah, there is a form module, and there is a type T there. And these are the forms. So the line 409 is the module form. Line 413 is the file attribute. The line 410 is the export, as you can see. So let's actually use this opportunity to see if we have everything. So for a module, well, let's start for the file. With the file, we are saving currently, I think it's file path, the alias.
hmm,
No, this is initialization, man. It's equals. Equals to empty strings, probably. Oh no, you're receiving. Just remove the column and put an equals on the right. On the right.
on the right. Oh, right, this is equals. In
Yeah,
fact,
exactly. Yeah, Dune should build now. Uh, can you go
okay.
back to the core? Yes. So let's look at line 413. We have a file and we have a string and an int. The int is probably because we need to save the ones that are appearing there. And the string is the name, so it's perfect. We already have everything. Next one is module. Module is line 409. We're saving an atom and a t list. That's a mistake. We don't need the T list.
We don't need a T list.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do you mean?
409. You see? Do you see why?
Alright, that's just an atom actually.
Exactly. You can delete it. Delete the T list. As I told you, we need to morph it to our needs. So the next
Hello,
one is
table.
export. The export, hello. The export
Hello.
is it's a list. There's a list in there, and it's a list of atom and an int. But an int is wrong. Swap the int for primitives.arity, please. I think this is it. Try to compile. It does compile. Okay, so perfect. We can generate a list of forms now. Go to compile and change the type signature. Instead of unit, it needs to return bean.core.form.t.
Bean.core.
Core with
No, this
capital C.
is
Form, T, and list. Don't forget the list. And replace the unit return with an empty list at the end of this function. See if this compiles.
um
Okay, it doesn't.
y-
Unbound
yeah, no,
module
this
bean
this is gonna be
core.
called just core because of naming conventions. They're dumb,
Naming
I think.
conventions. I don't see. I don't know what
Actually,
you mean.
no, that's not why I'm mistaken.
Why is this not working?
Bean. I have bean.ml.
No, this beam should die. This beam with capital B should die.
Oh, okay, that's the old file.
Yeah, delete it.
Bean.
Try to build again now.
That's not gonna
No,
change
put the
anything.
beam back, please.
Uh, okay.
Unbound module. Oh, I know why. Go to the Dune file in the no, the first one.
The first one.
Yeah, there is a flag. Yeah, line 6. Copy that and put it in the Dune file of the lib. Somewhere. I don't know where exactly. Let's see. Okay. Interesting. Wait, abstract format needs to be. That's so cringe. That's so fucking cringe, man.
Oh, that's because there's an underscore in the file name.
Yeah, but how do? Yeah, but that's so wrong, you know? Okay, now things are fucked up. Let's read why. So, yes. This doesn't make sense to me. What an error message. Scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
Signature mismatch. Okay, so there is a signature somewhere that is using the old stuff. Yes, we need to fix that. It's the nonsense problem of the type. Search for module inside the core file. Yep, line 18. You need to make the same changes that we did above in this shit because nonsense. Try to build now. Awesome. Okay, we had an auxiliary function that was assuming that. We can just undo that. You should not receive any forms. And it's probably gonna break because of there's a val. And you need to change
No,
it
it's
here as well.
because of the type.
Yeah. This is the problem, I don't... Okay. Okay, so module builder depends on beam. Beam is the main module of the library and is only module exposed outside of the library. Consequently, it should be the one depending on all the other modules in the library. What?
Oh yeah, because of this.
Okay, but how do we fix that? Do you remove the beam prefix? Because it's already in the beam folder?
I don't think that will fix it, but maybe.
Oh, it did actually. So
Unbound module primitives.
it's because it's sys.primitives.
But sys is open.
Ooh. Tough. How do we solve this?
Wait. Maybe primitive is just not exposed for some reason.
Um, really? Ah, it's because primitive is not in core. Primitive is in the abstract format. That's why. You need to import
Hmm.
that as well in the builder.
But isn't the idea to not depend on that?
Um, well, but core already depends on it, as you can see. Like
Well,
we're doing
yes, but
primitives
we
dot
only
something.
but the builder only depends on core is the point, right?
Go all the way up, please. That is the type, no? A primitive is a literal on line 6.
Primitive is a literal. No, this is a module, Amos.
Yes, and literal is a type. Like what I'm saying
Lit-
is, an expression literal, line 6, is a primitive literal, and a primitive is the one coming from the abstract format.
but
I
this is a
think,
tag. This is not a.
yeah, but I think we defined all the primitive types in only in abstract format, so that we need to use it. That's not gonna work because we don't have integer in expression. We don't have atom in expression. We only have literal in expression. So you need to use the primitive, man. So this is a faulty decision that we made. That we made the primitive types only in the abstract format module. We shouldn't have done that. But for now, this is gonna work. Just open the abstract format and it's gonna work.
This is a bad idea, but okay.
Line 7 is not gonna work. I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think it's misplaced. The primitives should not be in abstract format. It should be in core. It's just misplaced. Okay, now that this worked, we can start compiling. So let's start creating a list of forms. Um, let us start by creating a list of forms. Interesting. Okay, so let's think. How should we do this, Marinho? How should we do this?
Unbound module beam.
Yeah, but this compiles, right? So this is just LSP going nuts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so don't
There we
trust it.
go.
Here's the problem. Every single compilation process needs to pre-append three forms: attribute file, attribute module, and attribute export. So we need an initial accumulator.
We
We
need an
cannot just
initial
start from
accumulator.
scratch, right?
What do you mean?
I'm going to repeat. Every single compilation process of a file, in the beam I mean, needs to start by having three pre-appended forms already there: attribute file, attribute module, and attribute export. No? And at least two
Uh,
of them we already know before inspecting the clauses.
why do we need an accumulator for that?
Well, we are using the recursion as well. We are accumulating, right? That's what we've been doing with the compile. These functions are just accumulating the state. But now
This
this,
shouldn't be a list actually. This should be a finger tree because we're going to keep appending on it.
yeah, we should use a finger tree. You're right. You're definitely right.
Uh,
Module ft equals bet finger tree or whatever. Yeah. Instead of a list, should be an ft.t probably. No, the first t needs to be capital. And this should return ft.empty probably for now.
okay, so if we do, let's actually just do this right now. Why not? Um,
Yeah, but don't you think it's better if we already have a list as an argument as well?
if we already have a list, well, we can add it to the state, no?
Sure. We just need to remember to reset the state. There needs to be a reset function when you are about to switch from a file to another file.
Oh, that's initialize basically.
Yeah, but initialize needs to grab the current amount of forms and just keep attribute. You see? The attribute one file and attribute one module, essentially. So let's put current forms in the state, and
Wait,
it's
why do we need to keep that?
because every single file in Erlang becomes at least generates at least two forms: attribute file and attribute module. Every single one of them.
Oh, yes.
So that's already guaranteed. That needs to be there. And when we change the file, we need to remember to count that. You see what I'm talking about?
No, because like when we start a compile loop, like when you call this function initially, right?
You have zero
Uh,
forms.
we have zero forms. That means we need to add these two to the we need to add these two to the state and then enter the loop that actually compiles the file proper, you know?
Yeah, I don't know why you would not start the compiler with those two already in, but that's okay. We can do it in here. That's okay.
Because if you start the compiler with those two already in, you are leaking knowledge that the compiler needs to have to the outside of the
I'm not.
compiler.
The initialize function receives a file name. That's already enough to generate those two.
Hmm.
You're giving me the file name already, and that's the only thing that I need to generate those
Okay,
two.
that's fair. We can do that in the initialize then.
Yeah, the only problem is that we need to parse the file name, and that kind of sucks, but okay.
Um, let's call this, right?
Yeah, but I think we should give an alias, man, for this nonsense. Like, we just call it like type forms equals this. That's shorter. But okay. Last time I checked, I don't know if this is how alias in OCaml works. I keep
It
misremembering.
is. It is.
Yeah, if you give me a file name, I can already generate the first two things in there.
Um, okay, so the module, you actually need to trim off the file extension, right?
Yeah, I'm going. While you do the beginning, like, while you do the start writing this thing, I'm gonna search for the trimming. String Erlang. Okay.
Uh, fold left, fold right, append.
Oh, I found it. There is
Of
a split
list.
function for strings that you can actually. Wait a moment. This what? Yeah, no, this gives. Yeah, we're gonna use the split function for sure. Okay, so the first item in the list needs to be an attribute. Okay, I would recommend you to open beam.core.form inside here, inside initialize at least, if you don't want to open globally.
Shouldn't we use the builder though?
Yes, actually you're right, we should use the builder. So that means we need to make a function in here that allows us to create an attribute. Yes, a file attribute specifically. I recommend, yeah, make a module in here called attribute. That module will give us file attribute, module attribute, and export attribute functions.
Module attribute. If I can type.
Struct and then let's make a let module which receives an atom, so in our case a string, and it's going to return um, core actually sys dot form dot module. It's sys, my man.
Sys is open.
Oh, okay, so it's module with capital B.
Capital B.
Oh, you have a function there also, right? Yeah, you can just do form.module. You can just do
Ah, we
form.module.
can't call a function module because that's a keyword.
Just mod then. Yeah, remove the atom argument and just use the form.module function because there's a function called module in that, right?
Okay. Is there?
I believe so, but you can check it out. Search for let module. Module form. Okay, so that's it. Form.module form. Magetta already made a couple of auxiliary functions that are not strictly necessary, but okay. Call this module form as well, or module attribute, whatever. Let's make
Uh,
the file form as well.
Unbound module. Right, because form actually is not directly here, it's in form.
Oh, it's in beam.core.form. It's outside of sys. That's why.
That's kind of sad, but okay.
So it's going to be
Core.form.
core.form. Yeah, so now let's make the file and the export. I don't know if you have dedicated functions for those. Maybe not.
Function declaration, type declaration, record field. Wait, there's no file form here.
It's file attr. No.
Nope.
We don't have an auxiliary function for some. It's inconsistent. We have for modules and for exports and for function forms, but we don't have for files. So you need to use the constructor directly.
Okay, I guess.
And again, we should make this consistent. It's inconsistent right now, but that's okay. No, it's not module form. Wait, we have
Oh, this is a
yeah
file actually.
we have a duplication. We have a duplication in there. I just noticed. We have module and we have module attr, and they are the same. So we should clean that up later. I think we should keep the convention of attr. So just let's ditch module form and just use it module attr. I think that's better.
Ah, this is
Yeah, at reduce the thing.
okay. This is the name, and the other argument is what is this number supposed to be, by the way?
Location. The line.
But the line is already here.
I don't know why. Let's read. I'm gonna read the abstract format again. But I think they are both the same thing.
Why?
Don't ask me questions like that, man. Okay, I found it. So attribute file. Yeah, they are the same shit. So apparently there is a directive in that you can called dash file in Erlang, and you can pass an external line. I'm gonna send in the chat what this is supposed to be. Okay, so here it is, Marinho. This is why we have two numbers.
Oh, the annotation can be an arbitrary thing, right?
Yeah, actually, what is the format of an annotation? Yeah, there is a separate module for
Why?
that, of course.
Man, this is weird.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna put the same anyway.
It's just weird. Okay.
Okay, so now we need the. Can you go back? No, not to the compiler. Can you go back to the builder for a moment? I was muted, of course. Can you go back to the builder for a moment? I just want to clarify a thing. Yeah. Can you go? Well, can you put all?
Actually,
Go. Yeah, we should not use the module form.
there.
No. Go back. Go back to the core. Go back to core. Let me show you a thing. Search for the module. Yeah, there. You see line 409 and 412?
Yeah.
You see that they are the same?
Yes.
We should use the attr version, not the module version. And the module form function, no, that's gonna break loads of things, I believe, but the module form should, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but something else is fucked up. We can use the compiler to discover what. Just try to
Oh,
build.
it's because the type is duplicated. Because the
No,
type is
so
duplicated. Of
that there we
course it
go.
is.
476. Yeah, now I'm more comfortable. Thank you. You cannot call this mod, so
Alright, because mod is a built-in, right?
probably hard to
Ah,
tell
this
from.
is terrible. This is terrible.
You can just write module without the U.
There we go.
Okay, that also works. Let's compile now. It's time. It's time to make history now.
Okay, so we need to build a module.
It's a file first, according to the repo.
Module only takes The file is first,
Yeah,
according to the REPL.
yeah. The module comes second.
Okay. I guess we can do the file then. Uh, File name,
Oh,
and then
the location can
1.
be one. Yeah. And then the second guy is the module. But we're gonna have to do a little bit of pre-processing on the file name to make the module one work. So there is a inside the man. This is OCaml. I looked at how to split a string in Erlang. I'm stupid. Wait a moment. My tiny brain got confused. Okay, so I found it. It's split on char.
That doesn't quite work because that's going to split on everyone. We would have to remove.
No, you cannot have dots in your file name.
Why not?
Why? Why yes? That's a better question. What do you suggest?
Uh, doesn't OCaml have a string library?
It does, but it sucks. What do you want to know about it?
Does it have regex matching stuff?
Uh, no, but that's probably a separate library. Yeah, it's a separate library called str.
Okay. Um, There should be partial match, matched string.
Oh, split the limb.
Split the limb is an option, but there should be a way to just remove the match. Global replace.
Replace first as well. Yeah, I think replace first is kind of what we want, no?
Return the string identical to S. Okay, this is only the first one. All the substrings of S that match the regular expression have been replaced by tempo, which I'm guessing is the third argument.
I'm also going to assume that this is not in standard, so we need to see if it is on Nix. Let me check. OCaml. The answer is you know what? Just fuck it. Just import it into the flake and let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I search in Nix.
Mm, global replace. Regular expression. It's a compiled regular expression. Okay. Uh, let's make a function.
Yeah,
Let's
but
make a
don't forget
function.
to add it in Nix.
Editing Nix.
Yeah, because
Isn't
this
this a
is
built-in library?
no. I don't think it is, but we can try. Let's try first. If it doesn't work, we try to import it.
Let
Strip, strip suffix maybe.
uh, file name equals. Let's open OCaml. Actually, not OCaml. str in, right?
Man, you just gave me an idea. Don't they have a file module in OCaml? Let me search. No, continue doing what you're doing. I will search.
Uh, let um,
No.
it's a regular expression where we have a dot, then we have any number.
I found it. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. There is a function
Okay,
inside the file name module called chop suffix.
file name, you
Finally,
say.
finally, they making useful, making themselves useful.
Oh, removes the suffix suff from the file name, but you have to pass the suffix.
We know the suffix. It's .karuta.
Oh, there's shop extension. There you go.
Finally home.
Hello, Mageta.
Hello.
You don't sound very excited, Lemus. Why are you not excited?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, so we don't need these actually.
Yeah, we don't need this.
So what's the progress so far?
We we spent the first, I don't know, hour discovering how are we supposed to compile this so the Ergolang
Okay.
ecosystem understands. And the sad reality of that exploration was that the Erlang compiler cannot do it. It cannot grab the AST as an
Wait,
input.
wait. So the Erlang compiler cannot take the format, the abstract format? What?
No, it can grab Erlang, the symbolic bytecode, and what they
Yeah.
called core Erlang. And initially we thought core was the EST, but we were wrong.
But it isn't. It isn't.
Then
Oh,
we discovered that there is a compile module that does a similar trick on what the Lisp folks do, that you can just call the compiler as a library.
Actually, LFE compiles to core Erlang, no?
I think it is. I think they just transcode to actually Erlang source code.
That sounds troublesome, but okay.
Yeah, so then we discovered that we can keep the plan of using the EST, but we're not gonna be able to just like spawn a process and pipe the whatever we did to Earl C. We're gonna
I
have to
see.
we're gonna have to call the compile module. So like we're gonna have to have a bootstrap.earl that the
Yeah.
sole purpose is to receive the forms and compile them to Beam bytecode. As you can see on the right side, we have forms,
Uh-huh.
which is a hello world program, and we call the compile module, and there's a forms function that you pass a list of forms and it returns the bytecode. And that is what we're gonna have to write to the disk as a .beam. So what we're doing right now is trying to generate a couple of forms using the new AST that we developed last time. So as you can see, the first three things that the Hello World program does is three attributes: file, module, and the list of exports. We are doing file and module right now.
Of type string. Why string? Okay, so actually,
What is the problem, Marinho? I was explaining things.
it is actually inconsistent because the module form that we're using
Give me just a
takes a
moment.
it takes a string, not an atom.
But an atom is a string.
No, it isn't in our model.
It is. If it isn't for you, something is very wrong.
No, it is a tagged string, not a plain string. But it
Click on
takes
click on primitives.atom. Let's go to definition
No,
on
no, no,
that.
no, no, no. It has a tag, Lemos. That's the point I'm trying to make. This,
Ah, it has a tag in the sense of the ADT. I see.
yeah, the module form here, like on Erlang, it's an atom, right?
Yeah.
But our module function here, the module form model takes a string, not an atom. Should we change that?
No. Just go back to the module form
Wait,
function.
this takes the primitives.atom, which is a string. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
So actually, that means we don't need this, in fact. But this is weird.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
wa-
wrong. We should change that. But I told you this before. We are doing this, and we're gonna discover pitfalls along the way. And then we need to document them as to-dos and address them.
Document as just issues. It's much faster.
It's not, because it involves the browser. To-dos are in the code editor.
Uh, well, if that's what you mean by documenting, then
Yeah.
you can argue it's more efficient. But
Yeah. Okay, so we have a file and a module extensions. Well, not extensions, attributes. Now, Marinho, we can go and try to do the export. And here's the thing. How should we do that? How
Well,
should we do that?
we need to write a function that takes a form
Yeah,
and
but how
turns
do
it
you
into
define
a
an arity of a function that was originally a predicate?
that was originally a predicate.
Because in,
Wait,
in
what?
Prolog you don't have output and you don't have input. Everything can be an input and everything can be an output.
We only take inputs, Lemos.
Ah, okay. We only take inputs and we return all of them as outcomes.
No, actually no.
No. Okay,
What
can you
we
explain?
Okay, each predicate is going to be a function that has the same arity but plus one, okay? And the first argument is always going to be the binding environment, and that's what we return as well.
Ah, okay. I forgot about that. It's monadic, so we need a binding environment. I completely forgot about that. We need to bootstrap that before going to compilation, right? We need to have it already on hand.
Yes. Well, no,
Okay.
actually, we need to set that up when we create the entry point for the entire program.
No, when I mean we already need to have it on hand, we need to. We're going to create a function, right? Immediately after the export, we're going to create the function that you just mentioned, correct?
Uh, right now?
No, I don't know about being today, but the next steps is
Compile the
we
predicate, yeah.
compile the
Just that.
predicate. And to compile our predicate, we need to create. Ah, okay, we don't need it right now because we're just like saying the arity is 6. There's 5 environments, and the plus 1 is because of the future environment that you're gonna pass only when we discover the entry point. Blah 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 blah. Right?
Only when we do, yeah, because like when you compile a complete program, the very first thing we need to do is set up the initial environment and then call the entry point of the program, which is a query, right?
Mhm. 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 Okay. Let's start. Let's compile the export then, because we can know the arity by the size of the functor, right?
We can know the arity. Yes. The problem is we need to collect all of the.
Ah, this mandate second pass. Fuck.
Yeah. Yes,
Fuck.
Lems. That hasn't changed at all.
Well, I should say third pass because we already have a second pass for the preprocessor. That's actually a good question. Should we make the preprocessor do this? The preprocessor is already iterating through all the declarations.
Well, it's kind of already. Hmm. Well, yes, it does need to combine all of the declarations that match into a single multi-declaration, right?
No, no, no,
Um,
but that's already being done by the preprocessor, right? I mean the attribute. The export needs the list of the name of the function and the arity. To do this right now, we need to iterate over the list of clauses and just iterate over them. But
Yeah, no, we can generate that in the preprocessor pass and just have it
exactly,
cached.
exactly. I think that's much better. I think we can do this in 20 minutes and finish for today. What do you think?
Can we?
I think so. We should. Uh,
Um,
oh man, this is
remove
at least we don't have
comments.
to care about queries right now. At least that.
Compare clauses. I think this is what we want, right?
I don't know about compare clauses,
No, it's
but
multi-mapper actually.
multi-mapper, yeah. Multi-mapper sounds more like it.
Okay, so group clauses takes a list of parser clauses and returns a list of clauses which have already been grouped, right?
Yeah, so this is taking care of the multi-declaration stuff.
Yeah, so it should actually return a pair
Yes.
with a list of clauses and also, um,
It should be a clause in its arity, right?
yeah, it should be a list of basically clause heads, right?
Clause
Should be a
heads.
set technically, in fact.
I don't know if I understood what you said.
Like we're building up this list of clauses which are grouped, but also we should return not only this, but we should return a set of the clause heads which contains the. Well, actually, you don't care about the argument names. We just care about how many, right?
Yeah, we just care about how many. And there's another thing. In Prolog, you can have the reason we have multi-declarations is because you can have multiple bodies for the same predicate, right?
Yeah, because you can do pattern matching
That
on
is the
the.
same thing as in Erlang, no? Are we going to
It is.
exploit that fact?
We are.
Okay. Because that changes a little bit. Should we put the arity on the multi-declaration or put... I think we should.
We still should because we need to. Like, we still need to group together the clauses of each predicate into a single grouping instead of just having them spread out because we're going to treat them as a unit when we turn it into a function, right?
Yeah, Erlang actually has... the abstract format actually has dedicated syntax for when you use the semicolons for multiple declarations.
Yes, and in fact, um, we need to be slightly careful about that because we can't just use native Erlang pattern matching to do
Yeah, that's
the.
gonna be the tricky part. The pattern matching is kind of different.
Yeah, I'm thinking that for predicates that have multiple clauses, we should pass another extra argument, just telling you the number of the clause, um, and then we need to keep track of that when we do backtracking, when we create a choice point.
Okay, but that's future concern. Let's just do the arity right now. So where are we gonna put it? In here, the multi-mapper? It's gonna be a list of pairs instead of a list of clauses.
No, it's going to be a pair of a list of clauses and a set of and a set of a set of
I'm
not that.
confused.
Oh,
I'm very confused. Why it's a pair of a list of clauses and something else?
because we still have to do the multi-mapper. Like it still has to do what it's doing, but additionally, it's also going to collect together all of the pairs of names and narratives into a set of declared predicates. Or declared predicate names, I should say.
Tevo made a question in the chat. I assume that means Karuta predicates won't be open. There is. I won't be able to later assert a fact on a predicate somewhere older than its definition.
No, because that would imply that the body of a predicate is actually mutable at the REPL, right?
I don't know if I understood the question because it's saying I won't be able to later assert a fact on a predicate somewhere older than its definition. But how would that even work outside of the definition? Do you have an example, Marinho?
Like you could define the predicate in a file, right? With let's say it has 3 clauses, right?
Sure.
And then later, somewhere else, you could define a 4th clause for the same predicate and arity, right?
But that's a duplicate, right?
No, that's just another clause because like you can have multiple clauses for the same predicate, right?
Um, yes, yes, actually, yes. No, but
Yeah,
now
that's
I'm
the
kind
problem
of
of doing that is that either you allow it to be done mutably at the REPL, which is okay for interactive development,
Prolog
but if you
has a
want to
thing
keep the
called.
sorry,
Yeah, go
Maget?
on. No, finish.
Yeah, but if you want to keep the semantics consistent, then that implies that the definition of a predicate can be spread out over like multiple files potentially,
Hmm.
which is highly non-local, and so it's probably a bad idea.
But isn't that already the case? Like, can't you
Mm,
already do that in original Karuta?
no, because you can only compile one file at a time.
No, no, no. Assume that we could theoretically compile two files. No modules, no modules, just files.
Well,
What would
well, if
prevent you from doing what you just said in there?
uh, right now nothing, because we don't have a module system, so we can't say, okay, this file is being compiled in a separate context from the other file. We would just have to do concatenation, right? And that creates the problem that I just said.
Wait, but your problem, the problem that you just described, only happens if you have modules, right?
No, no, no. It happens if you don't have modules and you are trying to compile multiple files.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. If I have a predicate with three definitions, two of them in the first file and the third one in the second file, and I'm compiling them together,
If you
why
don't
would
have a
that not?
modules, if you don't have a module system, Lemus, what do you have to do to compile more than one file?
I would just concatenate them.
Which means that now all the three definitions are in the same context.
Sure.
Which means that now you, instead of having two predicates with the same name, you actually have one predicate that has three clauses instead of two or one.
Yes. But I thought that was the intention. You want to do that.
Between files? Are you crazy?
Well, I don't know why you would do that at
That
all.
sounds very impossible.
No, I
The
no, but exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. That sounds possible to me. I don't know
It's
why you
no, I
would
said
doable.
do that.
impossible. Like, man, like a prologue has a thing that's very interesting. It's called, if you look at the dynamic. So you inform the interpreter that you're defining a predicate that may change at execution with assert or retract, right? So, and there's also a multi-threaded version of that, uh, which I have no idea how it works, but uh, it needs to track things with persistency essentially. So it needs a table of symbols to look at. So when you define something that is a multi-source definition, which source read as module, because that's basically what Prolog takes, then you would need that in-memory registry, basically chaining all things together, and I don't know, God knows how it expands it. But we could do that, but is it worth it? Maybe not.
Wait, but let me just understand. What Tevo wants is to be able to have definitions of the same predicate in different files, but they are treated as separate things if you when you compile them together.
No, no, no. He's
I
asking
want to be able
if
to. I think he
you want.
meant later assert, right? Not latter. To
Oh,
later
okay.
assert effect on a predicate
Somewhere
somewhere
other than its
other
definition.
than.
Yeah, to me that sounds completely doable, but that goes into the madness that Marinho was describing. That locality goes to shit.
Yes.
But again,
And you
that
would
should be
need to
possible.
distinguish between two kinds of predicates everywhere. So that
Yeah, I'm not
sounds
saying we
horrible.
should do it because that sounds terrible for like programming. But I don't see a reason that wouldn't be
Well,
possible.
well, it wasn't possible earlier because we didn't have modules and we didn't have a way to emit code dynamically on the WAM implementation, right? And it won't be possible now because the beam doesn't like mutation in
No, no,
general.
no. The beam I understand, but in the WAM, if we theoretically go back, and we are not doing modules, I would just grab the two files, concatenate them together, and then we would have the predicates combined in a single definition, a multi-declaration
Which,
with three options.
which is effectively, yes, which is effectively what Tevos was asking about.
Exactly. So that's is completely doable, right?
It is,
Eh,
but Is it a good idea? I don't know.
No, because that kind of reminds me of dynamic scoping again.
It's not really dynamic scoping. It's the fact that if you don't have a proper module system, you have a single global scope.
Yeah.
No, no, no. It is related to dynamic. Well, you are right about that, but it is related to dynamic scoping because it allows you to use a fact definition that is further away from its definition, which is kind of reminds me of the static versus dynamic scoping of
Oh,
like.
check
No, this is not dynamic scoping at all.
I
It's
didn't say
unrelated
it
to.
is. Like,
check this
check
thing
my
here
words, man.
that I sent.
I said it reminds me of it.
Predicate dynamic 1.
So it may look like off, but I think that's a way to implement it. Man, I find so funny that they put like Saint Nicholas on the owl.
Informs the interpreter that the definition of the predicate may change during execution. In the
So go to the
multi-threaded
example.
version, the clauses of dynamic predicates are shared between threads. Wait, is this what Tevo was asking?
Well, that is more or less the same idea of changing the, uh, well, having another definition body, right?
No, 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 but
So you have
Magenta.
the same predicate being used elsewhere. That's a
No,
way to
yeah,
implement it.
no, but that's the thing. We were talking about two different things. What Marinho was talking is, well, when answering my question, he was saying, man, if you have predicates that are the same arity in multiple files, when you compile them together, they will become a single predicate. So that will
If they
not
have the
be
same name, yeah.
mutating the thing. It won't be mutating the
Yes, this is a
definition
way
of it.
to have both, but just mutating the reference to them.
Yeah, if what you're sharing, which is the predicate dynamic, that does allow to do the
Yeah,
redefinition of a predicate at runtime, I guess.
yeah, this is basically predicates mutation, which, to be fair, is probably useful if you're doing interactive development, but Karuta is
Yeah,
not
I
that
think
interactive.
since we're compiling, I don't think we can leverage this, to be honest.
Yeah, but the
Let me check
question,
something
I won't be
right
able to
away.
later set a fact on predicate somewhere other than this definition. This again, this reminds me quite a bit of the book club, that we book when talking about the dynamic versus static. Uh, what's it called?
Here. That's interesting.
Scoping.
Let's see. Scryer prologue is written in Rust, right? And it's supposed to be compilable. Although it does implement the prologue standard. So what do they do with that is a good
Yeah, but
question.
in Rust it's probably easier because you can do mutable shit. We are in Erlang.
So here, is there a way for Scryer that a predicate defined in a source file can be changed via
Yes,
assert or
that's the question.
retract?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because then we could change that module being bound by modules, right? At runtime. That sounds
Uh, there is actually one thing we can do on the beam, because the beam is dynamically linked, and you can recompile things at runtime.
yes.
Yeah, that's definitely an option.
Oh man. Okay, I'm getting the vision.
No, no,
Good
no.
now.
I don't think we should do that though.
Why not? Why should you not evaluate parts of your predicates at runtime?
Because that's we don't even make a
Granted,
hello
you're.
world compile.
I
So
mean,
right
it's
now,
just recompiling the module, no?
recompiling the module.
It's literally just recompiling the module, because the beam actually has a proper protocol for like hot updates on the code,
Mhm.
like hot reloading and stuff.
Okay, we can consider this later. Let's just put the arity in the multi-mapper now.
Okay, so this has to return. Do we have a set here? We don't,
Wait,
right?
I still don't understand why it needs to be a set. Could you help me with that?
Because if we're just collecting the names and arities of the predicates that are defined,
Yes.
then,
Then?
well, because of the group clauses, that means effectively there's only one definition for each pair of name and arity, right?
No, no, no. But if you have a clause, not in a parser clause, you already grouped them. You already have grouped
Yes,
them.
there will only be one, right?
Yeah. So why we need to have a set?
Because we still need to return the list of clauses, but we also want to return the symbol table effectively, right?
Yeah, but they need to be on the same order, right?
Well, no, why?
Wait, what? How come they cannot be that? Because if I have a multi declaration, and then I have another multi declaration and have different arities, and I have a set, how do I know which one is which?
The arities will be different.
Yeah, which one is which?
Doesn't matter. The order between declarations is irrelevant. If the
Wait,
names or the
what?
arities are different.
We're gonna put hello 0, which means that the predicate hello needs to have the arity 0. I'm so confused about what you said. The order
What?
does matter.
Okay, let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
What do we need? We need to collect all of the predicate names, and the name includes the arity, because we're already doing this grouping, right? Anyways,
Yeah,
which
we
means we
only
are visiting every definition, right?
exactly, and we're already grouping them together. So in the case of having a declaration that have a multiple bodies, we group them together in what we call the multi-declaration. But the multi-declaration, each one of the options has the same arity. Agree?
Yes.
So if you have an AST clause that is a multi-declaration, you have only one single arity for the multi-declaration. And if you have a
That's
query, you
not.
don't.
We're not touching that, Lemos. We are actually going to change the return type here to be a pair.
No, I understand that. I just don't understand if I have a multi-declaration with arity 3 and a multi-declaration with arity 2. If you make it a set, how do you know which one is the owner of each arity?
Because they are unique.
I have no idea what you mean, man.
Well,
At
first of
all.
all, they are unique because, like, for each pair of name and arity, there will only be one multi-definition, right? Because we
I'm
group the clauses.
100% agree with that. I just don't know how you're gonna say which one is which.
It doesn't matter, Lemos. We just wanna build an export list.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't understand. But continue. You probably know more than me, so just continue. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Look, we want to build this, right?
Yes.
Does the order here matter?
On that level, no.
So why should it matter here?
Because you're gonna have a multi-declaration hello. Agree?
It will be somewhere in the clause list, yes.
Yeah, so one of the clauses will be hello. And let's say it's a multi-declaration.
No, no, no.
What
If
is
it's a
the...
multi-declaration, every clause must have the same name.
That's fine. That's fine. It actually, when you have a multi-declaration, you don't have... It groups them together. So the multi-declaration already asserts that check. We already implemented that. My question is, how do you know that the multi-declaration hello has arity 0 if you have a set?
Because it's going to be a set of pairs, Lemos.
Can you type that down?
Look, it's going to be something like... we don't have any examples of sets anymore, do we? Oh, we do. Okay, so it's going to be something like this, okay? And actually, let's put a bunch of parentheses here because I don't want to deal with... Okay, so it's going to be string int bat set dot
That's
t.
not how you do pairs. Remove the
Alright,
comma and put
it's
the...
asterisk. There we go. It's going to be this, okay?
Oh, you're gonna save the name.
Why would I not save the name if we need it for the export list?
Because... Okay, here's... Okay, now it completely made sense. You are saving the name and the arity together. I was thinking, why not make a list of pairs in which the first member is the clause and the second member is the arity? I was thinking, because you already have the name in the clause, right? So it's a little bit redundant to do the string in here again. Would you agree with that?
Uh, it is a bit redundant. I mean, we could turn this into a map and get rid of this list, right? So it would be a map from this to AST clause, basically. But that doesn't work because not all clauses are definitions.
Uh, you are right, but continue your idea of having a map. We could make a map that goes from a clause to an optional arity. And in the case of queries, all of them are none.
Wait, why would the arity be optional?
Because in the case of a query, actually it doesn't matter. The query also has arity, right?
It would have, yes.
Yeah, because it's a functor under the hood anyway. Yeah, so we could just ditch the list of clauses altogether and have a map of clauses
No,
to integers.
but that doesn't work because not every clause is going to be a definition.
At this level, I think they must be, no?
When we introduce the module system, it will stop being true, Lemus. Why would we make a thing now that we know for sure we'll have to change later?
Well, because I haven't thought of that. Okay, so you are considering after the modules are done. Okay.
Yes, because some of these clauses will be compiler directives, right?
Okay, in that sense, I must agree. I must agree that this in the future will not work because some of the clauses will be directives.
Uh, Func. It has a tag and an arity, which is an int. Let's just use the proper name here. It's a tag and an int. Tag. And this is from AST. Okay. Okay, that means group clauses is the last thing it does is called multi-mapper, right?
No, it calls a
With
bunch of
concat.
things.
But it calls concat map. That means, ugh, it's not great. It's not great, actually. Yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that.
Oh, it's because multi-mapper picks a parser clause list and returns a. But we're gonna have a list of lists probably, and we are using the concat map to unify it, right?
I guess, just for now, let's make a separate pass.
Okay, so it will be 3-pass compiler.
Okay, so this is AST. Oh, why did I remove that? AST tag and int bat set t, and then um, let's make another local function. Let collect definitions, which is going to take a clause list. And we're taking this because it's shorter.
Yes, it's shorter because it's already grouped the declarations into multi-declarations, right?
Yeah. It is going to return a pair. Actually, should it return a pair? Let's not, actually. It's going to return the set. Just the set, not the pair.
Oh, you're gonna zip them at the end? What's the plan?
I'm just going to... I'm just going to put this into a let, and then uh, return this and collect definitions of this, basically.
Oh, but you
Equals
still have to
in.
zip them then.
Why? Because this is
Be
just going to be a pair of a list and a set.
Oh, you're gonna put the things on the bottom in a let. Okay, no, never mind. I take that back. That's very sad, but okay.
Uh,
Grouped clauses, maybe?
why not? In.
And then pair grouped clauses and then collect definitions on grouped clauses.
Yeah.
Very
And then
sad.
this needs to be uh,
Match on the
okay.
match on the. Oh man, I think we should do the structuring, right?
Let's do a fold left. Let's do a
Oh,
fold
a fold also
left.
works.
Can we do a fold left map? What does this do? It's an accumulator and a parameter, and returns a pair. Yeah, no. Fold left. The accumulator is going to be bat set.empty.
This is the accumulator first in the lambda.
In the function, has the it's gonna take an accumulator. Let's call
Okay, I
this.
dropped, but I'm back.
Hello. Let's call this. I don't know. Let's call this set. Why not? Takes the set. Takes a
An
clause.
element. Yeah, clause. And he returns. Well, it's probably going to be bat set add, probably.
Match clause with. If it's a multi-declaration. If it's a multi-declaration.
We need to
this
destruct
is
the
ASC.
first.
Oh, this is not a module either.
Yes, it's bat from batteries, yes. Oh, it is there, line 92.
92.
That's how you
AST
do.
dot
Yeah,
multi-declaration.
that's how you do
Okay.
it. And then you grab the head, probably. Curly braces, not parentheses. And then you also it's a semicolon underscore.
Then we grab the head. And the head is actually going to be, let's go here. Is a decal, which has
The head, and the head has the func, which has the name.
the func, which has the name f, and the arity. Head equals name f, arity, and we don't care about the rest.
Yeah, the parenthesis is probably not correct. Or at least it's misplaced. Yeah, it is misplaced. The parenthesis needs to close. Yeah, you need to reverse.
No, this is a parallelus.
I know, but how should I say this? Oh no, you're right actually. You're completely right on that.
Ed takes the set first,
Wait,
right?
but a
No, he takes the
multi-declaration
element.
has location, doesn't it? We need to extract the contents and the location thingy, I believe.
Should we?
Yeah, look at line 92. The content is the multi-declaration. Yeah, we don't have a clause prime, we have a clause, line 13.
It's a clause prime, yeah. That means
No, it is a clause prime, I'm confused. Are you sure?
It's a clause prime. That means actually. Well,
That
no,
doesn't
actually,
make sense.
the locations is in each clause of the multi-declaration.
Yeah, but
There's
the
not
type of the
for
function that we are writing takes clauses. It doesn't take clauses prime. You see line 122?
122,
Yeah, this takes clauses, not clauses prime.
which is a with location, which is yeah, and we need to get the contents, right?
Yeah, you need to get the content and then do what you're doing.
Oh boy, that means actually content equals.
Well, actually, wait. Before that, there is a better way. Go to the location module. I think we have an extract location function that removes the location for this type of problems.
Wait, the multi-mapper takes a clause, not a clause prime. Oh, yeah, clause has the location. That's right.
Yeah, but to make our lives easier, I think we can extract the location, man. Go to the location module. Yeah, strip lock. You can call that inside the match, and that will remove the content for you automatically.
Okay.
I think we should use that.
Three. Okay.
So call location.stripLock here. And now we don't need to do this content equals nonsense now. Bye. Nice. Awesome. That's it. Does it work?
Otherwise, we just return um, set.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dune build.
Executor broke, which I
We're not using.
guess
Actually, we kinda are because right, we need
there's
to.
another argument for a group, right? Right now.
Yeah, this actually returns two. This returns a pair now.
Oh, in that case, does that really
We don't have
matter?
FST, do we? Oh, we do actually.
Yeah, apparently we do. No, but we don't want FST. We don't want that because we need to keep this from the preprocessor output when compiling. Well, I guess this is time to uncomment the compile function from the executor. I think it's time, maybe.
Just 1 second. We should probably commit something before we get carried away.
Sure.
Okay, let me just dune fmt. Okay, Batfinger tree, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's add this. Let's not touch the preprocessor just yet. Builder and the Dune file and this thing. Yeah, bean core.
Awesome.
Start working on the new compiler backend. And then this, and let's say build symbol table inside the preprocessor.
Yeah, I think we can uncomment the compile function from the executor now. Because the preprocess can do the first in line 10, just okay. But the compile should keep it to call compile.
Right, right.
So my recommendation is to compile. Okay, so let me explain to you how this worked before. Compile prime is a compile function that assumes that you have state. So as you can see, it was receiving the compiler and the computer's arguments. And then the function compile on line 21 is actually providing initialized versions of the state.
Right.
What we want is just compile prime for now, but we're gonna not assume that you will be received. Well, I think we should keep that idea because that's required for the REPL. The REPL just calls compile prime all the time. It doesn't call compile.
Uh, but we're gonna run on the beam, right?
No, but the bean has a REPL.
But the repo is not implemented in Erlang, is it? In OCaml, I should say.
Well, it will be, isn't it? Like, how do you plan on implementing a REPL outside from in OCaml?
I have the same problem, by the way. How to implement a REPL outside from Erlang?
Well, we're gonna have to write one in Erlang.
And communicate via ports?
Well, it's your choice how you're gonna communicate, but you're gonna have to write one if you don't want to rely on the
Like,
Erlang
I only
branch.
had one option.
Make a self-hosted compiler.
I thought of two options, right? So the first is connecting the node itself. And then you would need like to scriptize a binary in Erlang
Yeah,
or doing TCP.
yeah, essentially. What do you think, Marinho?
Mm, Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of tricky actually.
No, for now let's just keep it. So just uncomment line 12 to line 21, and then we can just go from there. But we don't have the machine anymore, so we need to remove machine.
Oh, I did not. Okay. Okay, so apparently OCaml mode in Cocoon doesn't know how to comment block. Yeah, that's
That's
But
unpleasant.
silly.
That's
Emacs, but don't say that because Emacs does the same, by the way.
yeah, that's very unpleasant actually.
No, so Emacs is also silly.
Well, but then it's Emacs.
What we were expecting, right? It doesn't even have tail calls.
There we go. Good old regexes. They're amazing.
Okay, remove the references to the machine because we're not gonna need it.
Okay, we don't need a machine.
Yeah, anywhere. Every single mention of computer and machine, you can just ditch it.
It sounds very pleasant.
That means
We don't need this
But it's
line.
kind of
You can kill
let's
this
not
line.
do this.
We don't need that. Yeah, line 12 as well.
Right.
Yeah, so now, if you have a bunch of declarations and queries that we are assuming you parsed, you call the preprocessor now.
Oh, but now we take a file name as an argument. Is that a problem?
No, just put an argument to the compile function and pass that in there. There we go. Okay, so the compile function needs to receive a compiler, I believe, line 18.
Line 18.
Yeah, this is grabbing the output of the preprocessor, but we also need to put the compiler in that. You see, it's a pair, a bunch of clauses and a T.
Right, that means it's a bunch of clauses and a T. Well, we
And
already have a bunch of clauses, it's just the right-hand side is the wrong type. What if...
no, not the right-hand side. We're not passing the compiler in the executor. That's it. It's unused, as you can see in line 12. Just
We're not...
put, yeah, you have.
No, we're passing the compiler here, Lemos.
This is receiving a triplet. That's the problem. Remove the
Okay,
computer.
we don't have a store anymore, actually.
Yeah. And
Wait,
what's
this
the
was
problem now?
receiving a
Oh, the
store.
output of this is wrong. No, the output of this is wrong. It's returning the set now, and the compiler doesn't know about it. That's the problem.
Why are you guys using a set?
It's long story short. We we have the
It's
requirement that we
it's
want.
our sim
Go on.
it's a symbol table, except it doesn't have source locations because we
No,
don't
it's
need it at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
makes sense.
Does the symbol should the symbol table be in the compiler, or should it be an argument?
It probably should be in the compiler, but there's a problem.
Go on.
We we actually need the compiler. We have a file name already.
Yeah, the file name,
Why are we passing the compiler here though?
the compiler to the preprocessor.
Oh, I see. This is a pair. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a
that's the
pair.
problem. The symbolic table is not an argument to the compile function, so it's mismatching the types.
So just so I can be on the same page, that close queries, those are the multiple entry points. Is that it?
Yeah, that's the parser clauses. So whatever the parser spits, that's what that closing queries are. Then the first thing
Oh,
we
I see.
do is to pre-process them.
Okay, so that includes definitions and the entry points. I see.
Yes, exactly.
You don't separate them.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then there's an issue. Is my internet fine?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the problem, Mageta? The parser doesn't know how to group declarations that are together. They have multiple
Right, declarations
bodies.
that are together.
So that's what the preprocessor does with group
Oh, I
clauses.
see. You're saying
Compiler,
like you do two refinements, right? Of the. Ooh,
Am I back?
you are.
yes, you are.
Yeah. Okay. So continue, Mageta.
What was I saying? Group as in like you have two definitions of the
Yes.
two different
Yes.
cases.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then how
So
do you group that? By the
we need to go over the preprocessor, but essentially it checks for the arity and the name of the declaration. And if you
that
have
makes
more
sense.
than one match, it groups them in a multi-declaration node that has a list of declarations that are essentially the same name and arity.
Okay.
In the future, it's going to be the same
Uh,
name and arity and types.
so just one question. Group, it it doesn't assume position, right? Because I think in Prolog it needs to be immediately after you define it. So you can't
It
define something in between.
right now it can be
We
in
can, yeah.
it can be in between.
Okay, so that's already better than Prolog.
Well, that kind of it's a controversial decision that because it means right now that we don't have modules that you can have the first definition of a predicate in the beginning of the file and you can have the second 500 lines below.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but that kills locality in a sense.
Well, that's your problem.
Well, sure.
Just don't do that.
Just don't write bugs.
Just don't write bugs.
No, no, no. This is actually sensible because it's like if you go to the doctor and you say, "Hey, it hurts when I do X," the doctor is perfectly entitled to say, "Then don't do X," right?
It hurts when I
Actually,
breathe.
correct.
Just don't breathe.
Just don't.
What the heck? Okay, what's the problem?
Mm, compiler T.
No, it's the type on line 12.
Line 12. Okay, no, this is the compiler T. This is correct, actually.
No. This is not correct because this is saying that this is a function that takes a bunch of parser clauses and returns
It,
a compiler.
it
And
should
that's
take
definitely
two.
not true. This returns a bunch of
I
forms.
mean, it is taking a compiler first and then
Wait.
currying a list.
Wait, this takes a compiler, then returns a function that takes parser clauses.
And returns a compiler, but it doesn't return as a compiler anymore.
Oh, that makes
It returns
sense.
forms.
Hmm.
Marinho?
We may need to change that at some point, but let's not do it right now.
Just return the forms.
Oops.
And those
Yeah, let's
forms
just.
are from the trash that we did
Yes,
the other day,
yes,
right?
yes. Which, by the way, we already found problems with what we did.
Fantastic.
Well, I told Marinho that I think it's very less efficient trying to figure the shit out what's wrong with what we did because we write a bunch of shit. So it's bat. I think it's bat finger trees instead of FT.
The
Remove the FT.
finger tree sounds so strange.
Yeah, it's very weird.
We are
Anyway, this now
amazing
works,
though.
right?
We should, yeah. Don't build any
Nice.
builds.
Okay, now we should be able to. Oh, we don't have PPX on the beams shit, which means we cannot print them.
You
Awesome.
can
Yeah.
add. Just add it.
I think I'm actually going to leave because I need to go eat something.
Sure. Just
I can pick it up.
Okay, let me just commit this and you can carry on from there.
yeah, sure.
Um,
I told you, Mageta, that all of these functions commented out in the executor, we're gonna uncomment them at some point. We just did. Now the compile function is uncommented.
there we go. There's a new branch now. It's called this.
Bootstrap compiler.
Yeah, the only sad thing is that we're gonna have to make a tiny script to call the compile forms function. That's so sad, man.
I mean, if you look at 0, there's actually an example of that doesn't even require you to explicitly compile the script. You just
Yeah, no, but you don't see the problem. The problem is that this means that if
Lemus,
you're
what's
gonna
the difference between calling arrow C and calling a custom script?
the difference is that I wanted, and I talked this to Mageta, I was envisioning embedding EarlC inside Karuta compiler, which means that you would not have to have separate dependencies. You would just use our compiler. Because that doesn't work anymore, that means that we need to have an Erlang ecosystem shipped with Karuta. We cannot just have a compiler.
Or you can just assume it is installed.
No, that's worse. That's way worse.
Well, that's what RLFE does.
I'm gonna finish the recording.